directions are important. So this says write the point slope form, Wesley Shush. So that, the title is really important. And so it says a point slope form, meaning you need a point and a slope in order to do the form, okay? The one thing everybody gets mixed up on is like when to use slope, when to use slope intercept, when to use point slope, okay? So this is what we need our answer to look like, is in this form. Okay, that's what we need our answer to look like. That's the point slope formula. Okay, now we can look at what we're given. So the x and the y are always going to be there. The one without the little one. Okay, so the only parts that you're ever going to plug in with the point slope formula is going to be this x1, this m, and this y1. Okay, everything else is there. It's just a part of the formula. Okay, so we can go ahead and label these as x1, y1, and a slope, we use the letter m. Okay, so it's going to look like y minus, what did I label my y1 as? 5. And it says equals, so we're going to put in equals. What is my m? 8 over 9. We have a parenthesis, an x minus, what is my x1? It's 5, and we close the parenthesis.
That's all we have to do?
Yes and no, but yes. On the next one, it is a little tiny different, nothing crazy though. Okay, so that's it. Then we wrote it in point slope form. So let's look at number 3. Okay, we're gonna label x1, y1, and m. Okay, so we're gonna say y minus, what is my y1? Negative 4 equals, what is my m? 2. Parenthesis, x minus, what is my x1? Negative 2. Okay, so let's talk about this. The very first minus that you see on here and here goes with the formula, here and here. The second one is because the x1 or the y1 is negative, okay? Now, when we have two negatives that are next to each other like that, a negative makes a positive, okay? So I just write them all out, and then I go with my pencil, and I connect the two and make one really kind of big one just because I don't want to erase, okay? Here. Thank you. It is not this though, because I have a tendency kids will do like a plus and then do the negative. That's not, or a negative and then a plus. The two negatives literally connect and become a plus sign, okay? And then there's no negatives left. Okay, so you do have to change that, and so that's the only difference on the front page. Okay, so, but that is all we're doing, okay? So the minus needs to turn to a plus, okay? So if we look at number 5, I got x1, y1, and my m. Okay, so I got y minus, what is my y1? Negative 2 equals, what is my m? 4. X minus my x1 is negative 1. Do we have any minuses?
Yes.
Yes, what do they become?
A
A plus. Okay, so right here should be a plus, and right here should be a plus. Okay, 7, I got x1, y1, and my m. So it's going to look like y minus negative 3 equals 2 over 3, x minus, and my x1 is negative 5. Okay, and then again, that minus, we got to change into a plus. So right here should really be a plus. And right here should be a plus. Okay, last one, number 9, I'm gonna label x1, y1, and my m. Okay, so I got y minus, what is my y1? 3 equals, what's my m? 4. X minus, what's my x1? 1. Are there any negative negatives?
No.
No, so we don't need to change anything on this one. Okay, so that's what 1 through 10 is like, okay? So 1 through 10, although they look the exact same, the instructions are a little bit different on the back, okay? On the back page, the instructions say, what? To write it in what form? Slope-intercept form. So on the back page, they want it in this form, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so that is what we have, we want our answer to look like, okay? So the best thing I can tell you is when you're like, I don't really know, go through and label what they've given you in the problem, okay? Well, how do we label these? We label them x1, y1. How do I label an m, or a slope? M, okay? So if we do that, then that kind of really narrows the formula of what we need to use. Well, there's only one formula that has like an x1, a y1, and an m, which is the point slope formula, okay? So we're gonna start by putting this in the point slope formula, okay? So we're gonna say, just like you did on the front, y minus my y1 is -1, equals my m, which is -3/2. X minus my x1 is -2. Okay, so that's gonna be our first step, and leave yourself some room, okay, because there's gonna be math going on. Okay, are there any negative negatives?
Yes.
Yes, so we need to change those. It's gonna be your next step. Okay, and these are not that bad because there's only really, after you write it in the formula, there's 2 steps. Okay, the first is to distribute. Okay, so we need to distribute. So we're gonna say -3/2 times x. What is that? What is -3/2 times x? What's 4 times x? Yeah, that's what I'm like, all right, is everybody good? -3/2x, it's just putting them together. Okay, the second part is where it starts to get a little tricky, okay? On your calculator, you're gonna say -3/2, okay, write the fraction. You need to make sure that you hit the over button, so you're not typing on the bottom by the 2. You're gonna hit the over button and say ×2. Okay, and I will gladly help you. You have to be able to type the fractions on the calculator, otherwise you're gonna be unsuccessful, okay? Okay, so if you need help, please raise your hand. I will gladly help you. Okay, what'd you guys get?
-3.
-3, and if you're not done typing, finish typing, so you know how to do it. Okay. I have to click over, because you see how yours is going like on the bottom? So click over and say times, see how it's too. Okay, so you got -3, so we're gonna say -3, that's what we got when we did the back part. Okay, so our first step is gonna be to distribute. The second step, we're trying to get y by itself. That's the goal here, is to get y all along. So what is next to y that should not be? A +1. How do I move a +1? -1. Okay, so we're gonna say -1. Is he gonna go under the 3/2 or the 3? Under the 3, okay? Numbers gotta go with numbers. Okay, and so we're gonna get y equals -3/2x. What is -3 minus 1?
-4.
-4, and here's where I would say, on your calculator, after you do this like fraction part, don't click erase, because the next step you can just say, it's gonna give you an answer of -3, you can just say -1 and then hit equals. Okay, because it's not always gonna be pretty, some of them are gonna be fractions with fractions, okay, it's trying to subtract, okay, so you do need to know how to do the fractions on your calculator. Okay, and so if we were to look at this, this is my y equals, that's my m, so that's my slope, x, that's my plus b, so that's my y-intercept, which is what we were doing yesterday. So, in order to correct it, it's gotta be in that slope-intercept form. Okay, so look at 13, we're gonna go ahead and label x1, y1, and my m. Okay, so we're gonna say y minus my y1 is 4, equals my m is -5, x minus my x1 is -1. Okay, do we have any minuses?
Yes.
Yes, do we need to change that first to a plus? And then we're gonna distribute. -5 times x, what is that? -5x. -5 times 1, -5. Okay, and then are we gonna add or subtract that 4? We're gonna add the 4. Okay, so I'm gonna get y equals -5x. What is -5 plus 4? -1. Okay, look at 15, we're gonna label x1, y1, and my m. Okay, so we have y minus, what is my y1? -5 equals my m, -1, x minus my x1 is 2. What do we need to do next? Change the minuses to a plus. So right here should really be a plus. What is my next step? Distribute, okay? Next step is gonna be to distribute. -1 times x, -1x. -1 times a -2 is a +2. Okay, what is my next step? We have to get rid of the number by the y. How do I move a +5? -5. Who's he gonna go under, the 1 or the 2? Under the 2. So we get y equals -1x. What is 2 minus 5? -3. Okay, 17, I got x1, y1, and an m. So I got y minus, what is my y1? 4 equals my m is 8/3, x minus my x1 is 1. What should we check for next? Yeah, if there would be double negatives. Okay, is there? No. So then what is our next step? What's our next step? Distribute, okay, or make that little rainbow times whatever word's gonna work for you. Okay, so we got y minus 4. What is -8/3 times x? -8/3x. Okay, negative 8/3, and again, you're gonna have to use the calculators with fractions, times a negative 1.
It would be
A positive 8/3, that's what we're gonna get for this one. Okay, and then what's always our last step? To move the number next to the y, which is gonna be what? What needs done then?
Add the 4.
Add 4. So we're gonna say plus 4. Plus 4. So we get y equals 8/3x. Okay, on your calculator, again, when you're doing these, make sure that you hit the over arrow. It should look like this on your calculator. Negative 8/3. And then it should say plus off to the side, not down here with the 3, off to the side. Okay? 8/3 plus 4. And what do you get for that? 20/3?
yeah.
So plus 20/3. Okay, and don't be scared because of their fractions. Just use the calculator, okay? It's okay to suck at fractions. I do. I mean, I'm sorry. Not that bad, but. Okay, the last one. We're gonna label x1, y1, and an m. So we got y minus my y1 is -5 equals my m is -5/2. X minus my x1 is 2. Okay, do we have any minuses?
Yes.
Yes, so we need to change that first. Okay, and then we're gonna distribute. So I'm gonna get y plus 5 equals -5/2 times x, -5/2x, -5/2 times a -2.
5.
Is it +5? Okay, and then what number is next to the y? A +5, so we're saying -5. -5. And it's gonna give me either plus or minus 0, or you don't have to write it at all, okay? Okay, you guys have 10 to do on your own. Go through and get your 10 done.